The surest way to send Bari into an attack is by giving the command. As you can hear, it's very noisy here on the Causeway Bridge, but one sound the Causeway Commission is trying to prevent is hubcaps flying off, car parts cracking, and broken glass. The devastation was extreme, with the fire line stopping about here and even melting the car that was in close range. As rain and tears hit Orange Avenue, friends and family members desperately called to find out if their loved ones, who are at Pulse about a half a block behind me, are still alive. In less than a month, Lucky has already put on 100 pounds, truly living up to his name. Harper and his brother built what is known as the largest hitch wagon in America. As you can hear, it's very noisy here on the Causeway Bridge, but one sound the Causeway Commission is trying to prevent is hubcaps flying off, car parts cracking, and broken glass. Widely known for holding the title of the world's longest bridge over a body of water, the Causeway Bridge stretches over 24 miles of Lake Pontchartrain. However, after 60 years, the Causeway Twin Span is in need of safety improvements.
There's so many accidents and there's nowhere for them to pull off. There's no shoulder, so they need to come up with something better because people don't pay attention enough on the causeway.
The needs of Louisiana drivers caught the attention of the Causeway Commission. The most urgent project will be building segmented shoulders and safety bays starting next year. Currently, the only stopping areas on the bridge are the 7 crossovers, almost 4 miles apart.
This would be the most significant safety improvements to the Causeway Bridge since the second bridge was built in 1969, almost 50 years ago.
In its infancy, the bridge only saw a few drivers. Today, about 20,000 vehicles come south to New Orleans every morning and return each evening. Dufour says that even on a quiet day, there are 4 to 8 breakdowns.
Once these are completed, the safety of the bridge will be enhanced tremendously, particularly if there's a breakdown, and as we mentioned, you've got a bunch every day. This will help out a lot. It will not only reduce the number of crashes we have, but probably reduce the backups.
And there is a chance that the federal government may send backup and pay part of the safety improvements.
The President's administration has considered the causeway as one of the 50 top infrastructure projects for the country. So there's a possibility of getting some federal funds coming to it. If that happens, then the tolls would come down proportionally.
If not, the projected toll increase from $3 to $5 for drivers without toll tags and from $2 to $3 for those with toll tags will stay in place for 30 years to pay for the $50 million project. The toll hike will also pay specifically for work on the southbound span.
And I think moving it to $5, pretty much everybody can afford that. So I think it's a smart move, especially because there are so many accidents on the causeway.
When construction is completed, the Commission will direct its attention to building higher rails to prevent cars from going overboard. With these projects, Louisiana commuters can cross with more peace of mind. For North Shore News, I'm Maria Goddard.
2 of these horses and myself were in a Budweiser Super Bowl commercial this past year.
Harper says it was a dream come true for him as he has had a lifelong fascination with the breed. Starting 5 years ago, he bought his first Clydesdale and has even rescued one. Out of the 4 horses,
2 of these horses did not know how to pull anything.
Harper trained them and in turn increased their value. Clydesdale horses that work in a hitch and a parade season are worth over $30,000. This team of horses eats 800 pounds of feed and 18 bales of hay each week, which helps them pull a record breaker. Harper and his brother built what is known as the largest hitch wagon in America.
And wagon makers across the country have been intrigued by it, saying that it's the largest wagon that they know that's in existence today in the United States.
And how did he get the wheels for it? He drove 2,400 miles from his home in Pearl River. The wagon is over 10 feet tall, almost 7 feet wide, and has to be carried on a special trailer to meet DOT regulations. When Harper is not driving a car, he's driving the wagon.
One guy's last request was he wanted to be carried to the grave on a wagon. We did a funeral that morning and a wedding that afternoon. So we can haul him to be married and we can haul him to be buried.
Shannon Menard and Timothy Cochran work for Harper and the Honey Island Clydesdales on every haul, no matter the occasion. And Menard's favorite horse?
Alexis, because she's so sweet and she's real easy to work with. And she also let me put my hat on her head every once in a while.
The people of Louisiana and Mississippi are fortunate to have these unique animals servicing their events in the Deep South as they normally live in cold weather climates. For North Shore News, I'm Maria Goddard. Good morning and thanks for joining us. After a weekend of testimony and closing arguments, a jury returns a verdict against Cardell Hayes in New Orleans. Guilty. It took the jury 12 hours to convict Hayes of manslaughter and attempted manslaughter after killing former Saint Will Smith and shooting his wife Raquel. He was found not guilty on a third charge of aggravated criminal damage to property. Right now, sentencing is scheduled for February 17th. Hayes faces 40 years in prison. A handful of taxes aimed at fixing roads and improving mental health all fail in the end. That included an expansion of the city's Green Light program, which would have brought in an additional $20 million to improve roads. If your tree's been up since Thanksgiving, this is your reminder to water it. The National Fire Protection Association says Christmas tree fires are common this time of year. In the aftermath of the floods, one organization is feeling the love, the Denham Springs Animal Shelter. A GoFundMe account, along with money from the Petco Foundation and mail-in donations, added up to nearly $400,000. The money will go towards building a new cat room and vet center, both of which were heavily damaged by flooding.